All right, we're back for another week of Magic 8 Ball College Pick'em. Crazy week last week. We saw ups and downs, teams come from behind. We saw two teams with, I think George did Ole Miss and Ole Miss and LSU realized they could actually take their defense off the bus onto the field.
I don't think so. I mean, that was a high scoring ball game. But it was worth the money. I mean, people got what they wanted, high scoring game, high passing yards. It's all you can ask for in an SEC showdown game like that.
Yeah, and Ole Miss, you talk about money's worth. Ole Miss fined $175,000 today for fans throwing things on the field and then fans storming the field after the game. But so, JT, your neck of the woods, Duke, critical. You think it was a huge mistake that they are putting pressure on the quarterback and then decide to go to just a three-man rush there on fourth down and let him scramble for it? I mean, I think that was the key play of the game that probably cost them the game, and then also maybe cost them their quarterback for the rest of the season.
Yeah, huge mistake. I think it's Duke. It was the first time kind of being in that position this year, a big time game time play, and I think they just kind of messed up. Definitely a coaching error, but hopefully they're in the film room this week getting that worked out. And then you're right, that probably did cost them the QB. So hopefully they get that worked out.
I'll tell you the other thing too is I guess that's why it is Duke, but it not only cost Duke the game, but it cost you the title. All right, you keep that game, I think you would have been 80%, and the 8 ball would have been right there with you. But that swing of things switches it to where George, king of the hill, 7 out of 10 on the week. Florida cost him dearly, 2 picks. And then the Duke he had Duke money line, which cost him 1 pick. And so he went 7 for 10. Magic 8 ball drops a couple there too. Had South Carolina with the spread. I think Magic 8 ball had Duke 2-on-1 and Magic 8 ball and UJT tied. But if Duke ends up holding on there, you were having a very, very solid 80% day. So George, you got anything you want to say? That Magic 8 ball laid down the challenge to you in week 1. You come right out 70% and take it to him. Or are you going to be humble and just say, let's get some picks for next week?
I mean, I'm going to do the same thing. Pick them, right? So hopefully I win again this week. Keep that crown.
Wow. So you smack him with the skillet right there. Not so fast, my friend, right there. All right. So you slap the 8 ball with a skillet. That's a dangerous thing, my friend. The 8 ball usually takes the challenge. So George, since you're slapping people around, we're going to start with you. Hey, to all you men out there, if your ladies are giving you a hard time this early in the college football season, this is a good time for a date weekend because all the good action seems to be early this week, does it not?
It does. Absolutely.
So go ahead and get your college football weekend in and get you a reservation at night to go out and take your women out. But hard to believe that we're talking this going to Columbia, Missouri this early in the season, a game that matters in the SEC. LSU -5 at Missouri. Let's go ahead and decide. We need a money line. We're going head to head and against the spread, George. So who do you like?
Honestly, that's a tough call. I mean, Missouri's played some really good football this year. And, I mean, LSU coming off a loss, I just don't know how they're going to handle that, especially in Missouri. I know the fans are going to be fired up. I'm going to have to take LSU in this one. I think they're going to bounce back. Jayden Daniels is going to have a tremendous game. So I'm going to take their spread and their money line this weekend.
So you're double dipping with LSU. JT, you're looking better. I don't know what you did to the camera or whatever. If maybe Pac-Man go ahead and came through there and cleaned it off for you or whatnot. But you're looking much better there. So what you got for us, JT?
I think we're going to see something similar to last weekend, a really high-scoring game. But I also think Missouri's going to come out on top. LSU's going to lose again this week. Brady Cook has been doing great this season, 75% completion rate, 0 interceptions. That's something you want to see going into a big weekend like that. So I think Missouri's going to win this one. And, Missouri's going to win.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay. Well, here's what you got. You got, what do you think, 8 ball? Head-to-head. He likes LSU. He likes LSU to win it, but against the spread, he's going to take Missouri in the +5. He thinks it's going to be a quick game. Doesn't think the 61-yard field goal is going to be enough to win it, but maybe keep it under the spread. So head-to-head, he likes LSU, but against the spread, he likes Missouri. And Texas, Oklahoma, and that line has moved a little bit. Opened at 5, and now it's at 6. Texas the favorite there. Texas -6. And I think that's probably one thing that people are excited about. Even with both these teams moving to the Southeastern Conference, they still will keep the Red River Shootout open. So, JT, who do you like against the spread and head-to-head, Texas, Oklahoma?
I agree with you on this one, George. Oklahoma has surprised me and I think the nation. I didn't expect them to come out like this. But, big Red River rivalry this weekend, going to be huge. But I got Texas winning this one. Quinn Ewers has been good all season. It might be because he cut off the mullet. Who knows? But, yeah, big win in Alabama, and I think they're going to get another big one at Oklahoma.
So you like them?
I like them outright, and I think they're going to cover the spread.
So you're double dipping again. JT's double dipping all over the place. Maybe you need to hit Brewster's when you get back into town, huh? Maybe do we see an NIL deal with Brewster's coming your way?
I wouldn't mind that.
All right, what you got there, George?
I think just like JT said, I mean, Oklahoma's, proved that they're a decent football team this year. And I think Venables doing a great job with that team, putting them in the right direction going into SEC. And, I just think Texas they're a good football squad. I mean, their defense is unreal. Ewers can throw the ball a mile. So I'm going to have to take Texas in this one outright and money line. Spread and money line. I think they covered the spread by big.
Let me ask you this, though. Does Texas make you just a little bit nervous? I mean, the game against Kansas, even without their quarterback last week, close in the first half, and it took them a little bit to get going. And sometimes lately, a couple of years ago with Sark, they were going, and then they couldn't finish. Now it seems like it takes them a little bit to get going. With this Oklahoma squad, if it takes them a little bit to get going, they might find themselves in a deficit that they can't find themselves. So does them start to slow worry you a little bit?
Just a little. I mean, Oklahoma has the 7th best passing offense in the country right now. And, I mean, Texas can't afford to have them, throw the ball all over them on the first half. I mean, that's where whoever was going to win the first half is going to win the ball game. You got to control this. It's a big, big rivalry game. Whoever has the ball is going to win, and you got to play smart. And I think Texas is going to do that, but they got to start out fast. They can't be going slow like they did last week. That's for sure.
So who you got here? I was talking a little bit too much there. You got Texas both ways. You double dipping on Texas?
Yep, I got Texas both ways.
Double dipping on Texas. JT, you were too?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, 8-Ball, what you think? Well, 8-Ball likes Oklahoma head to head. Andy 8-Ball likes Oklahoma against the spread. He thinks not so fast, my friends. He's going to smack you guys with the skillet right there. I'll tell you what, who's going to get smacked with the skillet here? Maybe some Alabama fans for the second time in a row in College Station, Texas A&M. They may not need the weed eater to push the field goal in from, 10 yards wide left as it curls in as they kick that field goal to win as time expires. But this line's seen some significant movement, George. This opens at 3. That's a pretty big movement for a close for a 3-point line to open up the weekend on a game like this. Jalen Milroe, everybody felt good coming out of that Ole Miss game. Felt like in the second half, and then all of a sudden he's taking sacks again in the first half. So Alabama on the road, 2:30 game, -1.5 at Texas A&M. Who Max Johnson didn't look too bad. JT filling in, going to be the quarterback the rest of the year. Showed that he does have some veteran leadership. So. Alabama -1.5. How do you like head-to-head and against the spread there, George?
I got to stay humble. I got to go Alabama. Money line and spread. I mean, that money line at -1.5, that's Vegas basically saying someone's going to win by field goal. And so I think if Alabama plays their solid defense, Milroe doesn't take turnovers, doesn't take sacks, I think they walk away with a dub, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of people with this game. I mean, if you look at it, we have got to win this ball game, and it's a big showdown, and it's a must-win for Alabama. And I think we'll prove a lot of people wrong if we walk into College Station with a win.
All right, JT.
I agree with
Wardrobe
George.
change? Wardrobe change?
Not today. Not today. But I'm a double dip with George. I think Alabama's gotten better. I remember a couple episodes ago we were saying Jalen Milroe just needs to get experience. The whole team needs to get experience. Just start clicking, and that's what we saw last week against or a couple weeks ago versus Ole Miss. That's what I'd like to see. Milroe's becoming more dangerous, but the problem is Aggies still have the best defense in the SEC. So that's going to be a really, really tough challenge. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but Alabama wins outright and covers the spread.
Okay, there you go. Okay, well, 8-Ball, what do you think? I can't recognize. I don't recognize that helmet. Oh, it's a picture of Nick Saban. Nick Saban. He's got Nick Saban. He's double dipping with Nick Saban. Hey, I guess he thinks Nick wants. Nick doesn't like to lose to an assistant twice in the same place, so he's going. 8-Ball's double dipping with Alabama head to head and against the spread. So nothing against the West Coast, the Pac-12, the Pac-4, the Pac whatever they're going to be called now, with teams moving and all over the place, and typically don't do their games because they are so late and we're kind of a regional network. But with this game at 2:00, and I think, again, another team that has surprised some people this year, Washington State has really gotten out there and gotten after some teams. And again, I think if I'm Washington State, George, I'm a little disrespected by this line because I think they've played better than being a 3.5-point underdog while they are on the road at UCLA. Some people will tell you that you are the home team when you're on the road at UCLA because their fans don't get there very well. So, again, who do you like head-to-head against the spread, Washington State or UCLA? UCLA minus 3.5 as the favorite.
I'm gonna have to take Washington State both ways. They have the second best passing offense in the country right now. I think they're getting disrespected. Bottom line, UCLA is not ranked. They just lost their first division game in the Pac-12. So I'm not on the UCLA train. And just like you said, their fans don't show out. And I think Washington State's going to travel well and get the job done. So I'm taking their spread and their money line.
Washington State has the first best in third down conversions. So UCLA is going to have to play some really good defense, and I think they do have a good defense. They just need to be able to show it. But I think Washington State's going to win this one.
So you double dipping on Washington State, huh?
We're at Maryland. Double dipped, and we're at Maryland, Ohio State now.
Well, you're going to let the 8-Ball. Oh, so you're going to let the 8-Ball make a pick?
Go ahead.
Please. Why don't you ask the 8-Ball? Why ask the 8-Ball who he likes?
All right, 8-Ball. Who do you like for this week's game versus Washington State and UCLA?
Okay. Well, the 8-Ball says that he likes the points. He likes to go. He's going to win. Washington State's going to win against the spread, but UCLA is going to win head to head. So he's basically saying UCLA is going to win by a field goal.
Okay. Well, I don't like that.
Okay. Which I don't know how you're going to do that. I mean, it's tough to do that because I'm not even sure Brian Kelly, or it's not Brian Kelly, but Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly doesn't even know how to kick a field goal, I don't think. And I'm not sure he knows how to kick an extra point or a field goal. Now, again, this one surprises me a little bit, guys. Okay, again, I like Ohio State. I like what they've done. But, Mike Locksley over the last couple of years has proven he's pretty darn good football coach. And I think Tua's little brother, Talia or whatever, Tagovailoa, is a good quarterback. And they have been, playing well. And, again, I'm not sitting there saying that this is a marquee 1.5, 2.5 point matchup. I'm not sure it's a 20-point game. Unless you guys can tell me something different. So, George, am I wrong here? Give me this against the spread and head-to-head. Maryland at Ohio State. Ohio State's favored by 20.
I do have to agree with you. Maryland is a solid squad. They are. Talia is doing a fantastic job. Fits right into Mike Locksley's offense. They love scoring points. They love it. But I think Ohio State's a force to be reckoned with, and I'm taking them both ways. I think 20 is a little high. I do. I would buy some points down if I was sports betting, but Ohio State's just really good. Bottom line, their offense is insane, defense as well. So I'm taking Ohio State both ways.
All right, JT.
If I was Maryland, I'd feel extremely disrespected. I think the line is a little ambitious, but, also it is Ohio State. They're a good football team. They're going to perform. I also think Maryland, very, very good, well-rounded team, number 2 in the country in turnover margin. So I think they might get Ohio State off to a slow start. Ultimately, Ohio State's going to win outright, but I don't think they're going to put 20 on the board against Maryland.
All right, so JT, I got you. And Mr. 8-Ball. I almost knocked off my thing. The hotel's got me a very small desk there this week, folks. JT, the 8-Ball agrees with you. He thinks Maryland will cover and Ohio State will win outright. So, what's the most intense game of the week of these 5?
I think, my opinion, it's definitely Alabama A&M, but you also got to throw in there Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, that's going to be a showdown. It always is. Red River rivalry, and I mean, I think both those games are the two games to watch this week.
JT?
I'm excited for Washington State and UCLA. I think that's going to be a good one, going to come down to the wire. I'm really excited to watch that one this weekend.
JT's going coast to coast, the game with the most, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, two things. JT, tell everybody what you got tomorrow. You're running in your very first NCAA cross-country meet as a Division I athlete, and at 5 p.m. tomorrow. And we wish you the best of luck. And tell the folks where you're running and what the event is.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going over to Charlotte, running an 8K, which is just under 5 miles for y'all that don't know. So running at McAlpine Park, it's going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm. And George, I believe you get your driver's license this week, right? Don't you have a birthday coming up, 16?
I do. It's my birthday today. Turned 23. So.
Oh, it is today. Okay.
It is. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. But if I could add to that, I have a little bonus game that I want to throw in here.
All right.
Kentucky, Georgia.
I agree. I agree. It almost made the. I thought about putting it in here, but I just we had so many good SEC games, and then we did so many last week. But
I tell you this, Georgia they're going to slip up. It's just a matter of when. When are they going to slip up? They're due for a loss. They are, and Kentucky played very well last weekend. I think their running back had 4 touchdowns, I'm pretty sure, rushing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were just handing it to Florida. And, Georgia, they went down to Jordan Hare and almost lost. Auburn should have won the ball game. They should have. And, I mean, I honestly think Kentucky could really walk away with the win this weekend. I mean, I'm obviously going to pick Georgia just because they're number 1 team in the country, but don't be shocked if Kentucky gives them a run for their money.
What's that? 8-Ball said he'll take that bet. He'll take Kentucky. He says, "Will you want to take that?" He says he'll go with 6 game this week on head-to-head. He says he'll go with 6 game head-to-head. You want Georgia? He'll take Kentucky. You gonna take it? He'll take Kentucky. You want Georgia head-to-head?
Yeah, I mean, it's just they're at home, number 1 team in the country.
So you're taking Georgia. The 8-Ball says he's taking Kentucky.
But I think Kentucky covers the spread. I do. I think it's going to be a close game, and then Kentucky's going to walk in there and
8-Ball says he's taking Kentucky both ways. JT, what do you want there? We'll go 6 games this week.
My heart kind of wants a little upset. I want Kentucky to go down and pull. A couple years ago, South Carolina beat Georgia in Athens, and I'd like to see it again. But I agree with George. Georgia is the number 1 team.
So you say Georgia takes it head-to-head, and you're going to give Kentucky against the spread. I got it. So, all right. So that's one of the things I love about this show is you guys get a little spontaneity in there. George, though, you backpedal a little bit when the 8-Ball challenged you. I think you might get a skillet slap with that one.
I might.
Again, but 6 games this week. Wow, we're really going over the edge. And but the 8-Ball's always up for a challenge, George. I hope you can put your money where your mouth is.
I hope so.
Hey guys, roll tide, and
roll tide.
We'll see you next week.